tested they fall, dancing on strings to the anti-white call. Ignorance cloaked as a beacon of grace, while children are taught to loathe their own race. Arrogant hordes rotten to the core, you push our children to bleed even more. Selfish, weak and vile in your ways. The West burns while you bask in the blaze. Chase feelings to follow the lie, blind to the truth as our culture dies. Pretending you're pure, pretending you care, as you shelter your minds from the guilt you can't bear. Arrogant hordes rotten to the core, you push our children to bleed even more. Selfish, weak and vile in your ways. The West burns while you bask in the blaze. But to chase feelings, to follow the lie, blind to the truth as our culture dies. Pretending you're pure, pretending you care, as you shelter your minds from the guilt you can't bear. At your door, when the echoes of history demand so much more, will you stand there in silence, still clinging to lies, or crumble in terror as your narrative dies? Your people for a fleeting applause, but your downfall awaits written in the laws. Anti-white women, your legacy shame. You scorch your own future in your poisonous flame.
All right. Seamus McCarthy over there on Twitter live chat. Rolling in, going free. Hope you all are doing well. And just to let you know ahead of time, we might have to step away from time to time. We'll see while we are together. I might have to step away, but we'll try to make it through. We'll try to make through our roll in. Great to see everybody who has shown up. The great first. Last is first. Last is first. Great to see you, brother. And Country and Bluegrass is here. Anti-Vilification League. Great to see you all. Janice, hello. Anna speaks out. Hello. Good to see you. Cool Papa J Magic. Great to see you. Corey is with us. Awesome. No Name King is here. Great to see you. Anglo-Saxon NWG is in the house. The Patriot Apologist is here. Great to see everybody. And is it Gaius? Greetings over on X. Let me just make a change here so we can make sure that We are streaming in all locations. Okay, looks good. Rumble up and running. If you would like to financially gift over the course of this roll-in going free, which is magnificent because we are together and we are taking over the world. It's that simple. If you would like to financially gift, you can do so at Entropy, which is up and running, Odyssey, DLive, Rumble, Cash App, Subscribestar are all options. You may also financially gift by heading on over to nowhiteguilt.org, nowhiteguilt.org, and click on the financial gift tab. You'll see these options that I'm talking about here, as well as a snail mail address at which you can mail yours truly. Also, cryptocurrency wallets, some of the most widely used cryptocurrency. Check that out as well. And we do have a gift that I will be talking about, not today, but this coming Sunday. And if you would like to donate a tax-deductible donation, you may do so. If you go to that location, you'll see a link for the Foundation for White Wellbeing. You'll click on that and you will tag yours truly. You'll say, I would like Jason to receive this. That's our 501c3. It is the Foundation for whitewellbeingoutreachteam. That is yet another option. If you would like to financially gift on a monthly basis, you can do so at Subscribestar, Gumroad. There are options. Head on over to nowhiteguilt.org. Click on the financial gift tab. We are building the White Positive ADL to make an actual difference in the world. You know, go figure. We're not just going to complain. We're not just going to support somebody who says edgy, funny things and we're all going to applaud and we're going to say, oh, we're part of something very big and amazing. No, you're not. You're not doing anything, just like everybody else. In fact, you know, I was thinking about this today. There are a lot of current groups. In fact, this event that I went to the other day, they were talking about, you know what we need to do? You know what we need to do? What do we need to do? What do you think? They said. It's one of the main things that you hear all the time. What do we need to do to push back, to stop what's happening to us? What do we need to do? There are two really prominent arguments. The first one is the most prominent. It's everywhere. That is we've got to educate people. We've got to get them educated. We've got to get them the news. We've got to get them the data. We've got to tell them about all the data and all the surveys and all the research. That's what we got to do. And then the second one, very prominent, is we need to sneak people in. We were talking about that the other day, the hiding your power level approach. We need to hide the power level, sneak people in, sneak them in, and then change things from the inside. And yeah, that was talked about, those two exact things at this recent. That's like the main thing. And I've been hearing this for so long. It's painful. But then I was thinking, you know what? It's been around much longer. You all know of the Birchers. And I started thinking about the Birchers. And I was like, yeah, you know, the Birchers. They were doing the exact same thing. Have you all ever heard of the Birchers? Huge organization. In fact, let's try to get the date exactly right. All right. Yep, that's what I thought. So you're looking at about 1960. So just think it's roughly 1960. John Birch Society got started. I knew slews of people from the John Birch Society in the 1960s. And they were massive organization. I think they had over 1 million people. Let's see, if I was knew I was going to mention them, I would have looked it up. But I think they had well over 1 million participants. And They were everywhere. And 1960, a much whiter America, much, much more conservative, much less, in some ways, anti-white, certainly by what we consider contemporary anti-whiteism, but there was still as much anti-whiteism as there is today. And there you had the Birchers, 1960, and they are telling their massive million plus membership organization across the country, everywhere, that, you know what we need to do? We need to educate and we need to infiltrate. That's what we need to do. And then I thought, so you had the Birchers. But before the Birchers, in 1940, I think it was the America First Committee, 1940. The America First Committee. They had 1 million members. That was in a whiter America than 1960. And they had a more conservative America, the America First Society. And there were members of both, many members of, and all very prominent. It's like even more prominent than the Birchers, the participants. Prominent people in industry, prominent people in both Republican and Democrat parties, both parties participating in the America First Committee. And a society also better educated, less inclined to be consumed with frivolous nonsense and goldfish brain, right? What were they arguing for? Education, infiltration. Education, infiltration. Education, we need to tell everybody what's going on. We need to give people the data, right? We need to give people the information. Then they'll be able, once they know all the facts, to make the right choice, and we'll take our country back, right? They fell apart, they didn't succeed. So John Birch Society didn't succeed. The American First Committee, 1 million plus, did not succeed. And then I thought, you know what? The Native American Party, and by Native American, we mean white people, because this was before the words Native American had been turned into a meme pathogen. The Native American Party, I think most people might remember them by their colloquial name was the Know Nothings. 1850 United States. Million, and look at the population. And what did they argue? We need to educate people, because once they have the facts, they'll be able to make the right decisions. And we need to infiltrate. We need to get into the different departments and governments, county government, dog catcher, all the way up to Congress and Senate. That's what we need to do. So I thought, how fucking stupid is the white race? How fucking stupid. And these are just some of the more prominent examples. There are other examples of massive, mainstream organizations, not like today, sequestered into like the armpit of fucking society. Not like today. Mainstream organizations, massive organizations in the United States, 1960, 1940, 1850, populations that were more conservative, populations that were concerned about the destiny of America, populations that weren't suffering from the contemporary meme pathogens of anti-whiteism that really gut the white race. And still today, white people will give credence to content creators and organization leaders who say, you know what we need to do? We need to educate the population, because once we educate them, once we tell them what's really going on, they'll make the right decisions. And then we have to infiltrate. We have to get into the county governments, and we have to get into the school board, and we have to get into Congress and the Senate. Are you, I mean, am I a dreamer and everything else is fake? How can this be so TARDIS? How can it be so TARDIS that here we are, the community, with something original, something novel, that by way of the scientific method has been created? Thank you, Mr. Bacon and Aristotle's contributions. That by way of this method has been created by white men and women coming together, putting it into practice, and having success, demonstrating that it works. And still the white population is like, nah, I think I'd rather listen to this other content over here. I like this other idea about educating us. Once we get everybody thoroughly educated on what's going on in the world, then we can lead them in the right direction. Then we can infiltrate. We'll just get into the different governments and different universities. You're just a bunch of absolute hairy turds. This is where we're starting off today. This is where we're starting off today. This is where I am, I'm afraid. Dealing with the boneheads. I mean, can you just clip this out and then share it with everybody? How much more evidence do you need? Boy, they failed. The John Birchers, massive in 1960 America. They went right down the toilet. They educated far more people than anybody will be able to educate today. And the stock of people were far better, right? The America First Committee, thoroughly, both of these entities, thoroughly mainstream. The Native American Party, thoroughly mainstream, composed of notable figures, not like some armpit dwelling of society content creator that says things to just shock people and make them abhor him, and certainly more professional and mainstream people than the little dilettante females out there today who just have hordes of viewers that show up to watch them go as they watch clips. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? They are hypocrites. Can you believe it? 1.5 million followers. Post a video. I mean, are you following the reality of where we are in all this? Question of the day. What's the question of the day, Jason? We have the question of the day. We understand what it's like. The people are stupid. They're stupid. Well, the America First Committee failed when it was composed of Republicans and Democrat senators, congressmen, lobbyists, business magnates, most well-known and beloved by a white population. But you know what? A new America First will cut it today, composed primarily of mystery meats and non-whites, and they all just are anti-Jew. That'll do it. Yeah. Question of the day. Do you have a theme song for when you enter a room? I do. What is your theme song, or what would your theme song be when you enter a room? What would you like it to be? What song would you like to play every time you enter a room? I have a theme song. It literally plays. It literally plays when I enter a room. Final Countdown by Europe. It has the epic energy that my presence brings. So I'd like to hear what you would like your theme song to be, or have you ever had a theme song that played when you, or did you have a theme song maybe that played when you got into your automobile? Maybe you got your first car, you're a young adult or a teen, and you got your first car, and there was a song, particular song that you always blasted. Or what about a song that you wanted to blast when you get into your vehicle? Ah, Samuski, mine would be Eye of the Tiger. Fantastic choice. So does anybody, really quickly, before I leave my disgruntled point at the beginning of this Roland, does anybody want to disagree with that? Does anybody want to argue that we should have more education, that we should have massive socio-political or political bent, maybe I should say not even social, political bent, or political entities that have as their focus educating people and infiltrating the institutions? Is there anybody that, let me just ask, anybody who would like to say that, please raise your hand so that we all know who the fucking dumbass is. And then you can make your argument about why that should still be done. After the three entities that I just cited, then you can make your argument about why you are so fucking stupid. Hey, Lily Gaddis posted my interview with her, and that is on censored. Is it censored.tv? It's censored.tv. You have to have a membership to be able to watch it, but I will be making some clips of the best part. So if you don't have a membership, you don't have to give Gavin McGinnis your money to become a member if you don't want to, just to see me, because you're seeing the content here. So you could wait for the little cutouts that I'll make, and it'll be lovely. You'll love it. It'll be magnificent because it's me. So keep an eye out for that. But it was a great conversation, and hopefully folks over there will decide that they like Jason. They want more of Jason. They want more facts about how to remedy. They don't need any more high school history lessons. They don't need a ton more doom documenting, a ton more people giving their absolutely limp-sticked opinions about what's happening, but real things that are changing lives and making people's lives better. Now you know why that all of the jealous little bitches get in the way of the white god of the universe. So true. Theme songs. Does anybody have a theme song? Would they like to have their theme song be? Gaia says, I see your mailing address on your site. I will mail you a letter and a check. Well, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. We are building the white positive ADL. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build the white positive ADL so that we can effect change in the world. We're using the dialogic powers that we wield here. The Go Free Dialogic, our armory of dialectics and lexical power. I want to also warn everyone, our ladies, our women of the West, please listen closely. We have identified something that we call blowfishing. And if you haven't heard of it before, I want you to be very aware that for a long time in the white sympathetic sphere, way back, going way back into MySpace era, anti-whites show up presenting to themselves to be handsome, maybe even all the way up to pretty boys, and not maybe, yes, pretty boys, and usually claiming professions like firefighter, soldier, policeman, some sort of service to the community. even dog handlers and these sorts of things, because that's enticing to a female, somebody who takes care of animals, and they befriend you, and then they get you and you should know that these guys, by the way of their looks, for most of these women that have fallen for this, were out of their league, but women have a problem understanding that and appreciating it. But they show up, and I imagine it was more of the case back then. We saw a lot of the extremely pretty, but I will warn you about any guy showing up and he's like, out of nowhere, hey, start a relationship, get some naughty conversations recorded, some photographs of you. And then what they would do is once they had a bunch of information, they would tell the female that they are not actually who they claim to be, and that if the female continues to participate, they will reveal all of this information online, pictures and everything. In some of these cases, the females had even given addresses. And so they said that they would reveal home addresses and all of this, and they would terrorize them if they continued to participate. So, blowfishing. You all have heard of catfishing. That's, of course, where the person doesn't look like, isn't even the person that is meeting up with you. This is blowfishing. It's a guy showing up where he looks like a blowfish when it's not inflated, is like a cutest little thing you can imagine. So he shows up, he's very friendly, and then the blowfish blows up. It's got spines. It's some of the deadliest poison on the planet. Blowfishing. Ladies, watch out and warn each other about guys like this, guys showing up, and they're suddenly like, oh, I've been in this, I'm in this fight, I'm for this 100%. And then they befriend you really quickly, and they are angling for a relationship. Be aware of blowfishing. Let's go ahead and jump into some of these memes really quick. Let me see what you're saying. Anna Speaks Out says, do snails personally deliver the snail mail to your doorstep? I hope so. That would be such a quixotic and lovely little world to live in. Could you imagine that? I mean, maybe for people on acid, that probably has happened. The snail is here. The male snail is here. Come on in and have a cup of tea with me. And then the next day they're like, that was a hell of a trip. AOC says, happy Wednesday and white well-being family. Happy Wednesday to you as well. Anti-whiteism ends with you. The women should report these attempts at blackmail extortion. Yeah, we should. And if you are in one of our chat groups on Telegram and you suspect that there might be a guy like this, share it in there. Share it. Share it with each other. It's been absolutely astonishing to me over the year. And who else would do this? Who else would care? Nobody else would care, right? But we care here. It's been astonishing to me to see some of these women, not quite the caliber that we have here, but some of these women, some of them even married, and they're like a 3 or a 4, barely that in looks. And then they've got like children and they're married. And then all of a sudden some guy shows up and he's like an 8, a 9, or a 10. And he's like, hey, the thing he's always wanted in his life is like a middle-aged 4 on a scale of 1 to 10 with children and who's married. And like, that doesn't compute for you. You're not like, wait a second, something isn't right. I'm speaking of an actual case. There have been, and it's terrible. So I'm just trying to warn everybody. This is something that anti-whites do, and we need to be aware. Another thing I want to mention too is if you're getting in, and it's worthy of mentioning since we're giving a warning, if you're participating in conversations with other community members, and they're like open to the rest of the white sympathetic sphere, and other people are coming in, nothing wrong with that. But be aware that we expelled a slew of subversives from this community. And they had been, some of these subversives had been in this community for years. So be aware, be crystal clear that somebody could show up and say, oh, well, I started going free 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever it is. Somebody could claim that they started going free even before I was on the internet. And that doesn't make them good. The subversives that we expelled, some of them were very clever at participating in the Go Free dialogic and then steering people ever so slowly, even taking people who were totally loyal to white well-being in this community and turning them 180 degrees. That is how successful they were at turning people around. So we expelled them. We don't think there are any left. And but be aware, when you're out there having conversations beyond here, people who come in and they bring those like subtle bits, those little tiny bits of concern trolling, like, oh, I'm big time in love with Jason and white well-being and the Go Free practice. It's all just perfect. It's perfect. Except, you know what? There's this little thing. And one of the things they like to do is to isolate and get like 2 of them on 1 of you. So be aware that that happens out there. The moment that anybody is concern trolling, the moment that anybody is trying to isolate, get rid of them. Because the system, for one thing, has no other way to take us on than by that unless they're just going to come and kill me or something. But by way of that subversion, they would rather run it into the ground. But more likely, and what happens more often, is jealous bitches. They have destroyed groups. And if you were present during these purgings of these subversives, you'll know we talked about it quite a little bit. I've witnessed it many times over the years. Groups breaking in half because a person and then a group come together and they say, well, if we just had this following, we could take over the world. Except they've never done anything. And in 100% of the cases, it just like here, the major subversives, they were going to take over the world. Jason was perfect, except for this 1 or 2 or 3 things, and they were going to modify and then take over the world. Did it happen? They ceased to exist. As soon as they could not be a parasite on the ass of this community, everything they were doing ceased to exist. So just be aware of that too. Blowfishing and the subversives. That'll be showing up in the public conversations. Keep an eye out. Samuski says, I completed reading Born Guilty, and it's fantastic. What an epic tale of the Promethean world. I encourage everyone to read it if they haven't yet. God bless you, champion. Big salutes to Samuski. First Last says, his theme song would be The Sons of Europe. He wrote it. It's a great piece, and we played it a number of times. A true musical genius, First Last. Awesome to see you, brother. Azumut Clark is in the house. Great to see you. And the cool Papa J Magic. And let's see. Did anybody else give their theme song? Jay Bishop says she likes Sloth's song. Bishop by Sloths. And I recall we played some of that, and you'll be able to find all of his magnificent pieces, and he continues to create more. And you can find them over on his Twitter, and I will look to see. I follow him, and I've retweeted him. You could go to my thread and I'll be retweeting him again. But we want everybody to be following. He's making magnificent music. And now Anglo-Saxon NWG has started making magnificent music. It's just, we're just rocking it. Myra's here. Great to see you. Nat Quinn is in house. Private Life is here. Forgotten is here. Tag me as No White Guilt. Ivan the Horrible is here. He says, run in fear. Ivan is here. Just tag me. You got your song. Maybe it's your song while you're working out. You got a theme song while you work out. What's that song? Fit and Healthy at Any Age is in the house. He says, check your email. I and Biospirit of the West. Potentially exciting stuff going on via the OT. I will, brother. Awesome. I'm very excited. I think I know where you're going. Very cool. Very cool. Very excited about that. We'll just keep having victories. And the others out there, well, they can just they can keep spreading information. They can spread information and then they'll infiltrate. People have to be educated, you see? People have to be educated. James is here. Hello to you. Spud Ruckus is in the house. Great to see everybody. How about some memes? Tag me as No White Guilt with your theme song, and I will. I just wanted to show you Anne-Marie Waters, because we're going to be talking about an awesome victory through her and by way of her. It's so fun. It's so fun being right all the time. That's one of the reasons why they're so jealous. And they're like, no, you cannot speak here. No. And then we're going to tell everybody just scurrilous things about you. By way of traducement, we will ruin you. Okay. Okay, you little gets. One of these days. One of these days. Boom to the moon. Okay, where are we going to start with? Let's start with this poor soul who was just jogging down a path for joggers and cyclists. And what happened to him?
God, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
What happened?
I was running on the trail and I stepped in some dog shit. And I sat down and tried to clean it off my shoe, and this guy come running by and he stepped in it. I laughed at him and said, I just did that. He come over and fucking punched me in the face like 3 times, called me a nasty son of a bitch.
My God, I'm so sorry. God.
That's funny as hell. I laughed so hard the first time I watched that. Did anybody get it? Uh-oh. Did I lose everybody? Where is... Okay, here we are. It's still working. Oh my God, that's funny. Could you imagine if that... I don't know if that's real. I doubt it. But could you imagine the guy misunderstanding, thinking he actually did it? As in did it, not stepped in it? This is fun. So I thought, wow, I got to share this. Oklahoma passes law protecting drivers who unintentionally kill, injure rioters while fleeing. Look at this. Bouncing around, exactly. I like this little meme here. Driving the kid in one of them electric cars, and for some reason adults drive those now, driving over like his brother or whatever. So if you find yourself in Oklahoma and a bunch of anti-white scum decides to get in front of the vehicle and you become frightened by this and you stomp on the gas, well, you're good to go. It's going to be a bunch of anti-white speed bumps. The hotline could help with contacting police platform and making announcements. What is this? Maybe incorporating a helpline into our outreach team. would be a good way to keep potential females from being pulled away by these scums, says Anti-Whiteism Ends With You. Good idea, man. Yeah, that's a good idea. Cindy Ben is with us. Hello, hello, and welcome. Let your friends know we're having fun here in Oklahoma. That guy sounded so like emotionally defeated, though, didn't he? Like it was real. Like he was just. I said, I just did that. He can hit me in the face. All right. All right. Well, you know what we got to. We always got to do. We've got to demonstrate how sometimes the ladies, the fairer sex, they signal, they give evidence of how they should just be in charge. And here's a great example of it.
Really? A moose. I think that's a moose. Oh my god. Oh my god. Moose. Literally a moose.
It's literally a moose.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Moose.
Moose.
Literally.
Like that's his name. Moose.
A moose. I think that's a moose. Oh my god. Oh my god. Moose.
Wow. That's like somebody's pet. I don't even think a moose calf is that small. Is that short? That's literally a moose. General. Here are your epaulets. You are in charge now. General. Do you like the water? Admiral. Admiral girl. That's literally a moose. Did you hear about now I can't remember now. Was it a female? I think it was a female. Captain of a ship, U.S., was it a destroyer? Who set up a satellite, like a Amazon purchase satellite on the ship to get like TV or something on the ship. You have to look into it for yourself. I saw it and I was laughing too hard and I needed oxygen. But yeah, this is where we are because of anti-whiteism. But you know what we need to do? We need to educate people and we need to infiltrate. That's going to be the theme of the time that we are together. But I didn't feel like it was enough when I saw how expertly females handle stressful situations like that one when a moose is crossing the road. I felt like, you know what? I really needed to share this because this really demonstrates that sang-froid, that coolness under fire that you need when situations are stressful. So let me set this up for you. Two women are walking a little dog, and another woman is walking a young dog, but it's much larger. It's still a puppy, though. Maybe well, you tell me. I think I don't think it's like a black Dane. I think it's a Labrador puppy. But you can tell me when you have a look. But you'll see how superbly the females handle this stressful situation. Stress under fire, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Oh no! Put them in charge. Oh my God. Yes. Boss bitch. Boss bitch. Can I hear boss bitch? Oh my God. Look at this. At this point, this woman's Labrador puppy has decided that it's going to attack the little dog for fun, and pulls this woman right off her feet. Firefighter chief. That's what I'm seeing right here. Fighter pilot, piloting your civilian aircraft. You want, when there's a stressful situation, this kind of thing to be happening. It just like bounces off the ground. And then to make matters so much more pleasurable for the viewers, that being us, these two dummies decide to swing the little dog around by the neck. One of them can like just grab the little dog. Both of the other women have literally had their hands on the dog for like seconds and then somehow still lost the dog. Like there's some sort of like strange gravitational. Women are as good. They could do everything a man can do, but better. Okay. Everything a man can do, but better. Walk a dog. Women do it better than men do it. I mean, you never seen a male walking his dog doing a Superman. When does that happen? How often do you see men walking their dog, swinging them around at the end of their leash? Clearly just trying to teach the dog about centrifugal force. I love it. Then she just like falls down again. No reason. Oh my God. Yes. But ladies, don't feel bad, because there are guys out there that are so full of phytoestrogen, these estrogen mimickers that come by way of the beer they drink, that they get boobies and they get bellies like they're pregnant, and they get these gigantic, what they refer to as love handles. And maybe we should rename them as like swine handles or something, because that's how disgusting they are. And when they get really desperate, they decide that they are going to head to the liquor store and they are going to steal themselves a case of beer. Well, when you're in that state, it doesn't always go so well. So let's see what happens to this hippopotamus of a male.
You know, when it's late, they get the beer out the refrigerator for you. He shot a 42 fake him, hit the side door, and go out.
There you go.
Look, he ain't worked out.
I'm going to go get
Oh, my leg. I wasn't trying to run off with it. Look. Hey, help.
Look at this shit. The store owner is like, I'm just taking my beer. You fatso. Like, how did he not know his own abilities or inabilities? How did he not know that he was this lame, that he couldn't run away with the beer? A case of beer. He can't even step from the curb to the street. It gets a little better. I love the callousness of the store owner who just grabs the beer and he's like, I'm going back inside.
Hey, help.
Look at this. Look at him. He's like, I
Call
can't get up.
What?
I can't get up. But watch, he's going to try. Watch.
Hey, come help me. Ow.
Ah.
I'm hurt. Oh, I'm hurt. My neck and my back.
He said, I hurt my neck and my back. Oh, my Lord. Yes, the picture of the apex health of the current white male right here, ladies and gentlemen. Look, he's like, he's got his mullet going on. He's like, he got a little bit of that goatee, because he really can't have a goatee because it goes from, he doesn't have a neck. It's just chest, chin, chest, chin, chest. That's all it is. So it grows a little fur there, and maybe it just mingles with whatever chest hair he has. But that's what you got. Now, remember, if you all have something funny to say about these clips, please tag me. I want to see whatever you have to share. Franklin is in the house. So is Fornell. Fornell says he looks kind of swarthy. Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I don't have my glasses on. I've got to put them on. Maybe so. Maybe he is. Now I've labored you all enough. I've burdened you with these people falling down. So I figured They are maladroit, as we like to say. That's another thing I think that the intellectual peacocks, they get so jealous of me. I know I have a bigger vocabulary than they do. The subjects that I know about that they hold in common, we know the same amount. And so there's a lot of jealousy there for that reason. And then they're like, and he is physically fit, and he is in the Guinness Book of World Records for the horizontal. No. And he and that community over there are correcting what we could never correct. And all right, but I figured let's do this because this is lovely. This is this is fun. We want to have some of those awe moments too, right? Because who wouldn't love this little guy? Look at him. Look at the eyes on this little guy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh my God, who would have an animal this vicious in their house? You know what would happen? If one of the three women from the other clip had this dog, he'd pull him right over. Yes. Nat Quinn says he's cute. He is a cute little puppy. Let's see. Tag me as No White Guilt if you have a question, comment, concern, you want to make a joke about one of these clips. Who would not immediately invite this little guy into the house? Even though he's this vicious. Oh my God, I love his eyes. Now, we wanted to share some cuteness of the canine type. So now we have to also share some cuteness of the feline type, right? We don't want to leave out our cat lovers. So let's have a look at this kitty cat. He's so cute. He says meow. Oh no. I've never seen a cat go down the stairs that way. Very cool. Oh, this person says the car is damaged. I guess that's the car breaking down noise. Vibration noticed. Poor little guy. All right. Okay, so we have a antique nationalist in the live chat, and somebody who looks to the salvation of our people and our countries in the antique store. You know, you go into the antique store, and this little old lady, like 5 feet tall, comes wilding out, "Can I help you?" And you're like, "Yes, please show me to all of your Third Reich memorabilia, because there is where I'm going to find the salvation." Haunting cemeteries. Haunting cemeteries. Why do you bother, you absolutely antiquated, cowardly bitch, to show up? When was the last time you walked like a stiff-legged goose in public? We don't, because we're not tards. We're not these antique tards. So get a life, loser. Get a life. Gee, people have been taking that trek for lifetimes now, and it still hasn't worked. But people do show him to do it. People do show him to do it. Oh, where can I learn how to wave with a stiff arm? Ruin my life. have the entire society I live in think I'm a wretched piece of shit. That'll save everything. Ah, that's funny. Why bother showing up? And I'm positive that little kitty was fine. He just had an adorable little meow. He put his meow on fast mode, and that's what they sound like in fast mode. Amanda is here. Amanda Joe, hello and welcome. When was the last time you marched? When was the last time you marched in the streets? You mean by yourself, you loser? Talk about all of these people have to be feds at this point. All of them. Who in their right mind could be that stupid? I mean, genuinely that thick. It has to be a fed, or it's the equivalent of a fed. You all are cowards because you won't throw your race down the toilet, acting like an imbecile, getting fired and ostracized from your families, and then thrown in jail. That's where the real men go. All right. What else did I have on tap before we get to our couple? Okay. Now we're gonna have the guessing game again. Who wins? Now, we've got a chicken standing out in a field. Maybe 30 yards, I don't know exactly. 30 yards from the chicken coop. And a very large hawk decides to eat the chicken. There are no roosters in sight. Now, if you know about roosters, they will kick the ever-living crap out of a hawk. Although I don't know about a hawk that's a big hawk. But I've seen roosters just rip the life right out of hawks and certainly kestrels. So, no rooster in sight to come to the rescue. But this lone chicken. And she has to get back to the coop. 30 yards, maybe. Will she make it? Place your bets now. Who believes in the chicken? And who believes in the hawk? Very large hawk, like a red shoulder hawk size, maybe even eagle size. Stumbling is with us. Great to see you. Promethean Healing is in the house. Who wins? They merge as a chicken hawk, says Amanda Joe. Forno says the hawk wins. So we've got a bet here. Nat Quinn says the hawk. First Last says the chicken wins and gets back to the coop in time. The chicken wins. The hawk is gonna win, says Ivan the Horrible. Promethean Healing says cute pig. I don't know what we're talking about, my brother. Was that the moose crossing the street? Let's pull up and let's see who ends up winning the contest. Is it the chicken or the hawk? Here we go.
Oh my God. Go run, little chicken, run, chicken, run!
Oh, run. There goes the oh my God, there goes the that actually might be an eagle. Oh my God, look at that. The chicken's still running.
Go.
2 swipes. Oh my, 3 swipes.
Right there,
that's a long way to go. Is he good? Oh my, there goes. Gotta get him. No.
Please.
Oh my God, the chicken's still. Is the chicken gonna make it?
You got this.
Is the eagle gonna give another shot?
Go. Yay! Go.
Oh my God, the chicken made it. The chicken made it back to safety. Wow. That was hair-raising. The chicken or the hawk. How many of you have seen these good from far, but far from good? Sometimes they're also known as butterface, but that's actually doesn't work with this one, butterface. No, it doesn't work at all. In fact, let's have a look.
Why does everybody ask me if I'm Latina? Isn't it obvious?
Latina mommy.
Oh, shit.
Why does everybody ask me if I'm Latina? Isn't it obvious?
I love that little boy, but he should not be talking like that. Wow. Why does everybody ask if I'm Latina? Well, I don't know. Pretty face. Pretty far from, my God. Amandy Joe says, that's the will to live right there. Talking about the big Latina girl. I'm kidding. Talking about that chicken running for her life, making it back to the coop. I noticed none of the other chickens, maybe they were rooting inside. None of them came to her aid. Yes, First Class is beautiful face, but good grief, what ends up happening with that undercarriage? This is just a warning. I'm not going to show it. I'm just going to tell you all. It was one of the ones I saved as a warning. If you have babies and you use one of these cameras, baby monitors, do not place the baby monitor near the baby. The guy takes a EMF reader and it's off the charts. But if you move the camera further away from the baby, then it's perfectly safe. So keep that in mind with the baby monitor. You might be totally radiating the hell out of your infant or toddler or whatever it is. Be aware of that. Can I play this now? I'm going to see if I can play this. I'm going to pull this up. I'll play it just a second now because it's got music we might not be allowed to enjoy. So we'll see. Here we go. Joy and love, love and joy. This is what Democrats are all about. This is Walz's wife and Jill, the doctor, Biden, the corpse in chief. He better not fall down. They'll throw dirt on him. His wife. Let's see. Yes, that is them actually screaming on the mic. We watched this clip here. That's them actually screaming on the microphone. This is the women. This is the anti-white world. The males and females. And these are the females. Could you imagine having to be married or dating in some sort of a mother that's like this? No wonder the suicide rate is through the roof. You might also wonder about how we are rehabilitating some of these thieves who steal bicycles. And there's a program put in place right now. It would be much more severe if I were in charge, but there's a program in place. Let's see how they're handling it over in this area.
Been initiated to rehabilitate human beings who like as he prepares.
So maybe if you couldn't see that quite clearly, the seat depresses and about 3 or 4 inches of cold steel come up through the seat and presumably into the rectum. Let's see how he reacts to it.
He makes his move.
Let's see.
Bam.
Oh, that did it.
Instantly, he has been rehabilitated.
Oh, that's just for entertainment. Nobody was actually hurt. That's not real. What would a Wednesday be without a comment on coffee? Me on my way to get coffee in the morning. Maybe you are the same way. You can identify with me. There I am. And bam. Me on my way to get coffee in the morning. Me all caffeinated and ready to take on what life throws at me. That is perfect Jason right there. Yes, I'm as suave as that owl. Got to make sure we're not running afoul to rhyme there. But you might think that you might think you want to go back to school and you want to enroll, matriculate to the best out there. And here you have an all-black university. Let's see. They graduate 5%. I wonder why. Oh, wow, look at this. Okay. Well, it's a little different than the universities we attend. I wonder if this was a university that we built and it's been appropriated.
Okay.
You're looking at your future managers and CEOs and executives. Also, captains, corporals, lieutenants. You're looking at the leaders. Actually, if you want this is something I keep forgetting to share, and we need to remember that I said this. I know I have said it on other streams, but I keep forgetting to repeat it every now and again because it's something that continues to look more and more likely, and that is that America is trending in the direction of Indians from India being not only the ownership class and the executive class, but also the political class. I think that my prediction from so long ago that so many idiots sneered at about this becoming the reality for America, probably could happen for Canada as well, is looking more and more like that's going to be the case, where you're going to have Indian politicians who, some of whom will say, well, what about white people? And then all the white people will vote for that Indian politician. And then you'll have other Indian politicians who will just be hardcore on the anti-white line. And you'll have the anti-whites of all races voting for them. That'll end up being, every day it looks more and more like that's a likelihood in America. So just remember that this is a long-standing speculation and prediction by yours truly. And let's see if that doesn't end up being the case. And help me to remember to repeat it. Because you know what's going to happen. It'll be adopted by these other content creators, and then they'll be getting the credit for it long after, when they didn't think of shit. When meanwhile, they're saying we need to educate people and we need to infiltrate. What left? Okay. Let's see just two more things. Apparently, Kamala dropped a new accent. Let's listen to her new accent.
I love you back. I love you back.
Oh my God, she absolutely did. She suddenly got a Hispanic accent while talking to the Hispanic caucus. I love you back. Oh my God. Why didn't she yell like Vato? Okay, after I have my coffee, last thing. Now, people out there who play video games, tell me if this is a video game. And we're going to get into our news items. I don't know how much of this I can play. I guess I'm going to go ahead and just try to play it, and I'll keep an eye. Here we go. This is me. I'm the owl, remember? I go waddling up to get my coffee. I got my coffee, and then I slide sideways across the floor, and I'm ready to take on the day. I then get in my car, and I got to drive to work. And this is how I drive. Is this real? That's me every morning going to work. I had to stop the audio. I don't know if that's something that is proprietary. Is that a video game? Promethean Healing talking about the Latina that he said, I thought she was a planet. I guarantee you, if they had widened the view further, the camera would have broken. But just before it would have broken, trying to encapsulate everything, you would have seen the rings of debris, just like Saturn, that from previous meals that would have fallen away, but then they would have stayed in the gravitational field. And she just, everywhere she goes, the rings of Saturn following her. Dennis says, RC Rover play. Yeah, the music is disturbed. And I don't know if I'm allowed to. Yeah, YouTube, they might be like, whoa, wait a minute. You can't play that. We're going to shut everything down. Dude Bro Moment is there. He says, that's disturbed. Down with the sickness. Wow. Yep. Sometimes I'm playing that on the way to work, driving like that. I was once dive bombed by a bald eagle, writes Samuski, because I wore a red hat. It felt like someone hit me up the backside of the head with a 2x4. Off he went with my red hat. Oh my God. Thank God you weren't severely injured. I imagine they probably could crack your skull, the size of that animal. Anti-whiteism ends with you. Do you think eating predators like wolves and lions are more nutritious than eating the prey animals they hunt? I mean, I've not looked into like the value of wolf meat. I would think no, but not more, not less. But if they were really tasty and provided a lot of nutrition, they would have been farmed. Okay, let us roll. First thing I want to point out is an L. An L for our people. Not an L for us, but an L for our people. Because they haven't learned from us yet. Look at this. It says Dundrum in Ireland this morning. Tiny Irish village of 200 people getting white erased? No, getting replaced this morning. 280 anti-white terrorists, anti-white intruders? No, 280 asylum seekers are to be housed in this hotel, replacing, not white erasing, the local population overnight. Of course, this argument is so insipid, asinine, self-destructive. I have to be patient. I have to be calm about this because I could get carried away. We have been here. I've been here for decades, and I've been explaining how language determines the narrative in which you find yourself. And that determines what's going to happen, what's moral, what's immoral, i.e., what is going to end up happening, where the gravitational pull is, where the gravitational repulsion is, if we could use the word that way. What is going to happen? And I've been explaining. And what have so many people ended up doing? They've literally, in the white sympathetic sphere, turned to me after imbibing, after truckling at the teat of anti-whiteism. Every new concept that comes along. I watched a show the other day. I got to tell you, I was like out of my mind with anger. And the reason for this is that the people on this show are privy to the lexicon and the dialectics that we use. And they have instead insisted upon using the concepts given us by anti-whites and willingly, happily calling the anti-whiteism at our universities, at our workplaces, happily calling those things woke, calling them DEI. And then when the news, and now abundantly coming out everywhere, that the anti-whites are just rebranding, that's what they're calling it, rebranding DEI. So it stays anti-whiteism, but it's going to have a new name, like inclusive growth, that Schlotz brought to our attention, the brilliant Schlotz, inclusive growth, and confronted right in their face with it's just being renamed, just like the Go Free white well-being community said. And not only do they not apologize, not only do they say, holy shit, I was really nothing. They just ignore it. They just pretend. They just pretend like nobody had ever said anything. Nobody have ever alerted them. So I'm sitting there typing, name it by what it does, not the name they want it called. And they're just like, I'll just ignore that. I mean, what could be going on in these simpleton bastards' heads? What could be going on? I mean, I swear, at the end of the day, they've got to be anti-whites. At the end of the day, because the outcome is anti-white. Here you have a town, I'm sure one of our beautiful little towns in Ireland, totally being white erased. You're going to go to people and you're going to say, they were replaced. Where did they go? Are they still there? Well, yeah. So they weren't replaced then. And the psychology of it, of replacing, viewing the anti-white intruders, invaders, as improvements, as superior to, in that 95% of the mind, the subconscious, in which we live our lives. But with 5%, I can still say it doesn't mean that. Well, that doesn't mean shit. Can you do math? Absolutely disgusting, these people. I have zero respect for them. I would absolutely spit in their faces. Absolutely disgusting. Here we are, year after year. Don't call it this. They'll just change the name. Got to call it what it does. And they're like, meh. They change the name and they're like, nah, I never heard anything. I know nothing. They're like the know-nothings from the 1850. So here you have this Irish village absolutely inundated with anti-white intruders, and thereby white erasing the population. How easy is it going to be able to see one of our brothers or sisters in a town now that has more than doubled in population with non-white, anti-white intruders? And what kind of businesses are going to go up paid for by our taxes in Ireland? How will it be easier to find white-owned and run businesses, truly Irish businesses, in a little town where the government is financing anti-white, non-white intruders to open businesses and have self-improvement grants and be given homes and whatever else? The stupidity is at apex level. You talk about, in science, we often hear about apex predators. This stupidity, this asininity, this head up the ass is at apex levels in the white race. The white people could not get dumber. The majority could not get dumber. Not all of us, the majority. They couldn't get dumber. What do you want me to call happening to me? Oh, a glorious song from Elysium? Okay, that's what I'll call it. We oppose the glorious song from Elysium. And then a white guy shows up and he's like, yeah, don't call it that. Call it anti-whiteism. What? You trying to control my speech? I won't put this up on the screen. NFL's nonpartisan voter registration effort partners with anti-white organizations. Did you hear about that? I will show you this, though. To hell with the NFL. To hell with the NFL. NFL claims to have engaged in a nonpartisan, get out everything about the NFL is anti-white. They have been white erasing the league, the ownership, advertisers, the local charities that they engage in, all of it, for decade upon decade upon. Could it be any more obvious how anti-white this is? Do not give the NFL any time, any money, nothing. To hell with the NFL. They claim to be engaged in a nonpartisan get out the vote effort in 2024 election. But a look at the list of partners reveals that it has only teamed up with organizations that promote anti-white candidates and causes. So all of you white guys out there, and there are some white females out there, you're dysfunctional, probably wildly dysfunctional in the bedroom. And that's why you idolize athletes of other races on the gridiron. That's why you're doing that. Time to drop that ball and become a participant in your own life and in the lives of your children and the destiny of our people. To hell with the NFL. But what we really came here to learn about was Ryan Ruth and what's happening with this scumbag. Promethean Healing. That was a great video of the beached land whale. Exercise video idea. Commented above says anti-whiteism ends with you. I don't know if I still have that on my screen anymore. Promethean Healing. Great to see you, brother. Said that's how she saves them for later. She puts them into orbit. All right. Federal grand jury charges Ryan Ruth with, why do they do this always with the, like, all of the person's name? What's up with that? We don't need all that. With attempted assassination of Trump. Can you tell which one's anti-white as all hell? Can you find the anti-white? Somebody should do like a Where's Waldo? And then every page should really be, can you find the anti-white? And you're looking at a big crowd and you're looking for like the most hideous, deformed, confused, angry, spiteful, mutant monster in the crowd. There's your anti-white every time. Humility Listens is here. Welcome to you. Hello, hello. A federal grand jury charged Ryan Ruth with the attempted assassination of a president after he was arrested after being spotted. By the way, did you know that, I think it's Wisconsin, Trump was told by the Secret Service, you can't do any rallies in Wisconsin because we don't have enough manpower to protect you. Really, he kind of needs to win or at least compete there. He's got to compete there so that Kamala has to put energy. I mean, that's election interference, obviously. I mean, this anti-white beast is really revealing itself in this. I mean, and what we're talking about here, this letter that Ruth wrote saying that he would pay $150,000 to anyone who killed Trump is, by the DOJ, is prima facie evidence of subversion of the United States, subversion of the political process, in my opinion, of course. Prima facie evidence. And everybody, the reality is we're all just, if you're not using the Go Free dialogic and out in the world spreading the lexical dialectical power wielded therein, you're just watching. You're just watching. They could steal this election as well. Kamala is barely running. She is barely out in the field, stirring up votes, getting people interested in her. And the reason for that, and of course, my opinion, and her pace, in my opinion, is barely making an effort to win, is because the more that people see her, the more they know they don't like her, the more that they are afraid of her. So why be out there? And if they plan on stealing the election, making it look even more conspicuous by making more people disgusted and afraid of her, and obviously not talking negatively about her. She's barely, this is hardly different than when the corpse in chief ran from the basement. She shows up, attendees, the speculation and the offers to pay participants to be at the rally, to be audience at there. All of this is out there. Even green screen, blue screen work for rallies, covering up giant quantities of the seats in these stadiums to make it look like it's otherwise full. The stadium is just full. It's not a tenth full, and the rest of it's covered up. All manufactured, all fictitious. If they steal the election again, what can people do? Nothing. They're all going to be outraged. They're all going to say something's got to be done. But you know what? The something that can be done, these idiots are not adopting. These idiots are not watching. These idiots are not indulging. The thing that can be done to give the ingredients, the soil for a moral pushback, which you need in order to create a gravitational center for any sort of, we'll say, intellectual, but potentially even physical rebellion, is right here. And they're just like, nah, nothing. If this isn't done, nothing works. I mean, I would offer you a time machine to go back to 1850, and you can see if this idiocy isn't working in 1850 America, it's not going to work in 2024. And moving forward, there's less chance. I think there was a story about it in Norway or one of the Scandinavian countries. You can head on up there and get into the time machine, and then go back to 1850 and see that your ideas of all of these other approaches that don't work, that they're still not going to work. So the guy can't even, and then, by the way, I'm sure everybody has heard, and it's just a snippet, and it's like already forgotten, by the way, it's already forgotten that he just had another assassin at his doorstep, making it a signaling the totality of anti-whiteism, that killing Trump, finding Trump and killing Trump is the easiest thing to do. And it is, because the anti-whites, they drop the ball. They're not going to enforce. They're not going to do their jobs, because Trump is the avatar of the white race, of Western kind, of America when it was great. So they're just not doing their job. And it's already forgotten. You have out in, where was it, Arizona, where the side, he enters stage right, so on the left-hand side, and there are seats on that side and seats on the other side. And everybody, or almost everybody sitting in that part, had chemical burns. At least one of the individuals at the hospital, they wrote down that it was chemical burns in their eyes and face. And it's just nowhere. Chemical burns. In a press release on Tuesday, the Department of Justice announced that Ruth had been indicted for the attempted assassination of Trump on September 15th. The DOJ announcement comes after the prosecutors announced on Monday that they intended to seek an assassination attempt charge against Ruth, who had been accused of allegedly attempting to assassinate Trump. So that's what we have for that. And here's the twist, though. They went, of course, I believe the son's name was Orrin, Ruth's son, Orrin Ruth. They went to his house to investigate and see what they could find out on Pops. And they discovered that Orrin is a child predator, and he's got hordes of child pornography with individuals as young as 6 years old. Let me just show you his face really quickly, so you can see the face of anti-white. See, anti-whites come in white. Look at this mutt. Look at this absolute vile, degenerate cur. This guy had thousands of files of child pornography. This anti-whiteism, I mean, it's every degenerate. Am I right about anti-whiteism and where it comes from, or am I right? I mean, how much do I have to be right? This scumbag obviously does not feel, he's attracted to children. He doesn't feel a connection to the grandeur of the West. We don't rape them in the West. This guy does not feel a connection. And so the jealousy and envy drives him to destroy the West. His father wanted to kill, also similarly afflicted, Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is the avatar at the moment. It would be you if you were the person in the public eye. So he should be, in my opinion, absolutely slaughtered. Children 6 years of age being raped by adults. No, the people that traffic in this, that buy it, the people that look at it, the people that entertain it, they're the ones that drive it to whatever level it is. So, absolutely, the white race, but the system has been white erased. The system has been white erased. And as a consequence, we can't get the justice that all of those children and their families deserve. That indeed society requires and demands of us if we are going to have Western civilization. In fact, in this anti-white world, the exact opposite is being pushed. And I've shown you that before. It's been the case for over a decade. The news it's been at TED Talks, it's been at college classrooms, it's been speeches by professors and sociologists and psychologists that pedophilia, that is just another orientation. Wonder what that plus is about.
It's short for virtuous pedophiles. Not virtuous as in they're better than everyone because they're attracted to children, but virtuous like having moral standards.
Okay, first of all, look at this psychotic anti-white talking about this. Look at her eyes. I mean, these are the degenerates. These are the waste of society, anti-whites. This is the waste. And you know what you do with waste if you can't sit in it. Look at what happened to London before. London was a pretty provincial little town with a lot of disease until a genius white man with a high forehead, whose statues will all be removed and the history will be white erased in London, in the UK, and all of the West history, created that system to move the water, the fetid water out of the city. And once he did that, London became colossal and healthy and a hub for the entire world, thanks to one white man. Look at this psychotic monster calling pedophiles virtuous, that it's just another attraction that you can have. But if they don't actually harm children, then they're virtuous. Are you serious? The attraction is harm. We don't allow people to be monsters because monsters destroy civilization. Monsters ruin life. You can't say that a monster's inclination is an acceptable form of life, behavior, etc., attraction in this case, because what does that do then for your baseline, your benchmark? What does that do for your benchmark? We say correctly here in this community that we have ideals. Now, and we say that everyone will fall short of ideal. But the antithesis of an ideal is not falling short of it. The absolute acidic corrosiveness of certain lifestyles and notions and etc. are not falling short of the ideal. They are to be extricated for society to persist. Because why will good people want to participate in a society where the benchmark is that, well, you are only stepping over the line a hair because your attraction is acceptable, is normal. You're only stepping over the line a hair if you actually go ahead and have some sort of if your sexual lust for children is normal, then is it really that bad if you say, like, blow kisses at children, if you lick your lips at children, if you talk to children about sex and having sex? The line just continues to move and blur. And then, regrettably, there's a double lesson in this video, in that all of the views go to this little dilettante cupcake. They're not coming here for the real masculine leadership of the white race. No, they show up to watch some blonde cupcake, some dilettante who's going to make shocked faces and have nothing that can contend with this anti-white. I mean, do you really think this little cupcake here is going to be able to contend with crazy up top? Never has, never will.
And a sexual orientation that they have no control over, like the rest of us. Before you get all worked up, I'm talking about not child molestation or rape. Is the sexual attraction to children. It's a paraphilia. There's a link to more information about it in the description. Videos I've made.
Okay, so pedophilia, she says, is virtuous. This woman here has hundreds of thousands of followers, by the way.
In the past, explaining the kind of human diversity and development. Molestation and rape are different. These are abusive actions.
Yeah, for now. And what about, like I said, what about being able to talk with children about intercourse? Is that molestation or rape? This is where you go. This is how everything is being white erased. White erased.
That often have nothing to do with attraction. Many child abusers are actually sexually attracted to adults, but they act out on children.
What a preposterous argument. The people who are really raping the kids are not actual true pedophiles. It's them regular, normie heterosexuals attracted to adults. Those are the ones who are raping the kids. I mean, come on, right? Now, you know what'll happen is little conservative tweets will actually, that'll be the entire substance of their pushback on this anti-whiteism, on this white erasure.
Meaning you probably don't object to pedophiles because you're compassionate and rational, but you may loathe.
No, I object to desiring sex with children because that's rape. I object to that. Just like I object to someone who has the urge to just want to know what it feels like to murder people. All of these like serial killers, they end up killing people and they're like, well, where did this come from? Well, I just wanted to kill. I just wanted to know what it was like to kill. And did you have sexual gratification? Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they say no off of doing. So I object to that too. No. Absolutely zero tolerance.
With child molesters and rapists because they violate people. I personally try not to judge either.
Don't try to judge either. So this woman has a PhD, Dr. Lindsay Doe, who has now amassed more than 1 million subscribers.
Oh, I'm wrong. I'm always trying to be conservative when I give out figures. I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of followers. She has over 1 million. Anti-whites on these platforms, pushing this shit, pushing white erasure, pushing. If there's any justice in this world, God in heaven, if there's any justice, where are the white deca-centimillionaires? Where are you? God will move you and bring you to the white positive ADL so that my voice will be louder than this little cupcakes. So that my voice will be louder than all of these destructive voices out there who are just ruining our final chances where good people want to protect our loved ones, our friends, our children. These people and their audiences are ruining this final hope with 1850s organizational ideas.
On YouTube, calling herself a sexologist, teaching sex edutainment on her channel, Sexplanations, where I guess she's trying to make the argument that pedophilia is a legitimate sexual orientation that we shouldn't judge in society. These people are telling you exactly where they want society to go. Listen to them when they are honest.
.org.
Yeah, and a cure? Do you have a cure? Do you have a remedy? Oh, you don't? Then why aren't you directing people to the remedy? Why aren't you directing people to the cure? I don't have patience anymore. Decades of butting heads with these jealous little, and now it's like, since the internet's proliferation of content creators, they are just innumerable. They're like, what does the demon say? We are legion. That's what they are now. I'm going to take a look at financial gifts in a second. We'll see if there are any. And I can't see what the heck that says. Okay, that's nothing. Found my glasses at least. And we'll take a look at a piece of news. Except it moved on me. Why did all this stuff move? The final seconds. I get it all ready for you all, so everything flows smoothly. And then it decides, now we're just going to refresh on our own. Why not? Take a little look. Tag me as No White Guilt. And we're going to look at one of our victories, something that would not have happened without us. Something that would not have happened without us. Let's take a look at Anne Marie Waters, giving us a little bit of a view of another victory.
10 years ago, I would have never said a word about
10 years ago, she would have never said a word about race. I wonder what changed. I'm serious. What changed? Things aren't worse than they were for white people 10 years ago. I mean, you can go back to Rodney King. You can go back to so many periods in our history where white people are being absolutely eviscerated by anti-whiteism. 10 years ago, there were hardcore ant-nats and everything else talking about race. And in fact, that's the reason that people like Anne Marie Waters wouldn't talk about race. But now, thanks to us and our work, thanks to us.
race. I mean, it didn't really occur. It was all about religion and culture to me back then. That has changed. And I'll tell you why that has changed. Because my race is under attack. And I'm fighting back. And we have this new global order now.
Her race is under attack. Her race has been under attack, and she knew that. But she used the abstractions. She used religion. She used these other things back then. Why? Because she didn't have the moral concepts that are now percolating through society as we push them like banshees from heaven. And they are there. We've been in her audience. They are there cocooning her as a consequence of second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth hand usage and more. It's showing up in the media thanks to us, thanks to our leafleting, thanks to our heroes, our swashbuckling heroes. Now there's a moral matrix that enables Anne Marie Waters to talk about her race.
And everyone seems to be represented. I'm going to step up here with your support and your backing, and I'll go into these New World Order negotiations for white people.
For white people.
Because nobody is speaking for us in this New World Order.
Nobody's speaking for us. You notice what she's not doing. What is she centering? She is white Westman centric. She's not Judeo-centric. All of these other, or Black-centric, all of these other endeavors, it's just a fact. And they can be jealous about it all they want. All of these other endeavors have centered these other groups, which would have made Anne Marie Waters most immoral in the eyes of the white population. If she were to come out there and say, this is all bad because Jews and we're Goyim, this is all bad because blacks, this is all bad because of Arabs, she could center these other groups, but she's not. This prominent figure is centering us. You're welcome, you bastards out there who have been censoring me from speaking to larger and larger circles of the white sympathetic sphere. You're fucking welcome. You can come and apologize.
I'm going to. I'm sick of it. Absolutely sick of it. These are our countries.
These are our countries. Also, global. One people, many countries. Where's that come from? All of these old, centering Jews, centering blacks, centering Arabs, they were all nationalistic. It was all just this focus, this provincial little focus. That form of nationalism has already failed. I've been arguing that too. Upwind, upriver, uphill. Coffin is asking, when do these streams happen? Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Wednesdays at 8:30 time frame p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for the question.
Europe belongs to us. Now, people may come in small numbers and enjoy the rich culture of this country.
I mean, it sounds like she just got done watching one of my videos. God bless her. This is how we do it too. We love Anne Marie Waters right now. If she's going to center our people and defend us against victimization, and especially look at us as a single people with many countries, we love her. If she deviates from that, that changes. That's how it works.
Continent. If they understand that this is ours.
Yes.
You are a guest here. This belongs to us. You will adhere to our culture. You will adhere to our laws. You will respect the majority in this country. And you will, if you dare, you don't, let me just put it this way. You don't get to come here and attack the British people.
Here's the thing. If anybody is close to Waters and she wants to have a conversation, I've been studying this for decades. I've developed the practice that works 100% of the time. And me and this mighty community of very bright people, all very bright people. If she would like to have a conversation, reach out to me anytime. I will happily give her advice on how to deal with any arguments, construct arguments, address issues that she's having with political rivals and voters or what have you. Reach out to me anytime.
You do not get to come here and insult British culture. You do not get to come here and usurp our laws as if they're nothing.
Usurp our laws. White erase them. White erase them. Could you imagine? We get her saying white erasing.
You do not get to come here and hide weapons all over the country intending to attack us. You don't get to do that. We are not going to take it. Not take it. We cannot take it.
Amen.
To stay up.
Amen. Huge victory for us there. She's amazing. Humility listens is right. Absolutely. First Last said, don't be fooled. She is Jason in drag. That's right. Nexus Moon says Trump for prison. Do you care about white people? Yeah, first class. That's you and Dreg. You're not fooling us. Wasn't she amazing? Absolutely amazing. And I absolute my services. Reach out. Like I said, success. That's all you need to see. We have the success. What we do works. So that's all of the cred you need. Should be. Reach out and I will help. So after that victory, let me taking a look at that. We've got the great dude bro moment. Everybody on your feet with salutes and love for the great dude bro moment. 50 white well-being dollars over here on Entropy. Big salutes. This guy is a total hero. And we want to make sure that he feels the love from the community. Another $50. We are building the white positive ADL. We are building the white positive APAC. We are responsible for the changes that you now see. The things that we have been preaching are now the things that and pushing are the things that are happening in the world. So the credit is to us. And to hell with everybody who continues to ignore and censor and be jealous of me and us in this community. Big dude bro moment. $50. God bless you, brother. Big salutes. We are the community that does. You notice, what don't we see out of Anne Marie Waters? We don't see her out there telling us the facts and figures of how this race rapes more, and that race is more into banking, or this race is, she's not centering. If she was doing that, the white population would see her as immoral, and we could credit those entities that push that kind of stuff. No, in fact, she's doing something very different. She's doing exactly what we teach with the Go Free Dialogic. So we deserve the credit, you fucking little tutu-wearing shits out there. Keep the raucous emojis going. Keep the fire and hearts going. I see Red Dog throwing out fires. And God bless you, man. Everybody that celebrates our community members for doing magnificent things is as much a hero. We have to celebrate each other because no one else will. Not even in the white sympathetic sphere, the fucking losers, the fucking cowardly losers. $50 from Corey over here. Big salutes, brother. God bless you. Thank you so much. It's great seeing you in the house. 50 white well-being dollars. He says, with those dollars for ending our victimization and building our ADL. Big salutes. Thank you for that. We also have the great First Last in the house. $5 financial gift. God bless you, brother. Good to see you on this Wednesday roll-in. How epic. Anti-Vilification League is in the house. Nat Quinn with the finish flag, the winner's flag. Stumbling with the crowns. I love it. Fournot with the salutes. Reynold White Wolf is in the house. Anti-White Out is here. Great to see you. Yeah. I mean, we are the community doing it. We're it. We are the people. It is our practice that has changed the world. I cannot, every day I step out, every day when my feet hit the floor, getting out of bed, and it's a beautiful sight, let me tell you. Every day getting out of bed, my feet hit the floor. And I think about the fact that we have financially next to nothing compared to all of those massive entities, those financial powerhouses out there. And look what we've done. We have a power-packed community of doers, of self-starters, of high IQ'd, industrious people who want to make a difference in the world. Compare that to the colossal audiences out there for content creators that are do-nothings, that sit and complain and bitch and cavil. There's nothing of value there. Just, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Laura is here. Great to see you. All right. I think that is all for the financial gifts. Let me take a quick look at the live chat at Twitter. And we have Gaia says, our worst problem is our own people. Yes. Jared Taylor once commented most of his death threats come from other white people. Sad but true. Yeah, anti-white people. Absolutely. Promethean Hales. And we have Western Kind Positive over here says, I love the place that Western civilization lies within. Westman's body and heart. Precisely, yes. This is the only place it is. The West is not out there. See, could you imagine Anne-Marie Waters saying that? The West is not out there. It's not this collection, this archipelago of islands that is the United Kingdom. None of that is the West. None of that is the British. None of that is Britain or Ireland or Scotland or Wales. None of that. It's the people. It's the white people. It's inside of us. And then once you really appreciate that, you realize how dangerous and how harmful white erasure is. Wouldn't that be something? If everybody wants to follow a female, follow Anne-Marie Waters, and I will happily educate her on the practice. She could call me any time of the day. I will wake up if she's 5 hours earlier, I will wake up middle of the night. She's got a question about going free. She's got to give a speech. I mean, I've only been serving my people with my life since I was 12. So it's the least I can do. Thank you for playing my music on your stream, says Slot. Oh, thank you for making them and continuing. He's made a couple more pieces that are just out of this world awesome. It's I love it. And see, he just educated himself. He learned how to do that. Went out, self-starter. This is the kind of people that, hey, if you are out there and you are wealthy and you are looking to make a difference, you really want to push back against what's happening to the West, maybe you don't quite understand it. This is the community. You finance this community, people like this can receive income and they can do this and live and eat and everything. You finance this, the world changes. 1 year, you give us 1 year of all of us being able to do this for a livelihood, and the change would be galactic. Look at what we've done with next to nothing as far as finances. But when it comes to the people, the human material, the human capital, absolutely beyond priceless. Nothing like it anywhere else. There is never, and this is the thing we really have to appreciate, something that I think about on my own fairly often, is that nowhere else in the white sympathetic sphere is there an accumulation of such noble, brilliant, industrious, talented people pushing back against anti-whiteism. Nowhere. Nowhere. You might have a very talented leader and or second in command for this group or that group, or nothing like this anywhere else. Nothing. Big salutes. I can guarantee Anne-Marie knows about the Go Free book. Well, I actually thank you for chiming in. We have a little bit more of knowledge of that than it's the kind of thing that you say, but unless she says, but she doesn't have to, we can have private conversations. But we all have to keep doing what we're doing. Man, amazing. Yeah, we're going to keep playing Sloth's great music. He has a whole library of epic songs. And music is the revolution of thought, of course. But it is the revolution. You need the soundtrack for the revolution. And this is not just, it's like what the anti-whites do for their revolutions, for their movements. The words speak the language of the revolution. And that's what these songs do. You hear our concepts in these songs, and they are used correctly and appropriately. So then they really stick. Reynold White Wolf says, off topic, but what do you think of anti-white Michael Eric Dyson insinuating that Nancy Mace is racist, then hitting on her in direct messages after the show, saying that he didn't call her a racist? Well, it's a typical of an anti-white. I mean, let's face it. White women are beautiful. And he is pretty typical for an anti-white, using the, you're a racist unless you have sex with me tact. So yeah, they had it out on CNN. Is that what it is? And he did not say the actual word racist, I don't think, but he said it as much. And she identified it correctly. And so he then, though, wants to get his picture taken with her. And he's just a nasty anti-white slob. And she's still fit and good looking. And so then this disgusting anti-white slob is like, hey, we look so good together. Kissy face emoji. Hey, I mean, just unbelievable. So awesome that she decided to go public in Congress with that. And say, look at what but look at what Mace should be like Waters. Mace, you can call me too. Have your people find out and get in touch with me. And I will tell you what to say in the Congress to destroy the opposition. Reach out. I will happily help. In fact, gratis. Gratis for Trump and Trump campaign. Gratis for Nancy Mace. Gratis for Waters. Reach out. This is how the white positive ADL, APAC, white positive APAC is going to function. This is how we can make a difference that changes everything in the blink of an eye. So, big donors out there, you can find us. You know where we are. Let me hire all these people. Let us have a building. Let us get to work. And then he called her a racist again after being called out and rejected. I'm curious whether this is a common phenomenon. The white woman experience. Yes, it is. In fact, if you read my book, do I have it out? Crucible. One of the fistfights I got in was with a black anti-white who wanted to have sex with a white female, and she didn't do it. And the parents were like getting in the way. And so then he, in conversation, you'll have to read all about it in the book, with me and a friend of mine, said, she's racist, they're racists. And I couldn't take it. Racist because they won't let you screw their daughter. Racist because maybe she's dragging her feet and having sex with you. So yeah, it's used all the time in America. Prove that you're not. But honestly, a lot of white females are happy to get on their backs because it helps them ameliorate their white guilt. So the true problem to it is anti-whiteism. You really want to address it, you have to address anti-whiteism. You address anti-whiteism, you teach white females that they're from a glorious people, that we don't have guilt for any of these other, there's no white guilt, that those are all monsters who profit and benefit sexually, monetarily, etc., from anti-whiteism, inflicting it on us. And then when the anti-white shows up, whether it's a white anti-white or non-white anti-white, and they show up and they're like, yeah, you're a racist if you don't give it up. Or they imply, like this guy did, although his was pretty direct. And they obviously don't need to be that direct. When they come up and apply it, the white female will say, go to hell. Why anti-white piece of shit? Western positivity talking about anti-white oligarchs. Yeah. Yeah, Dyson is a garbage anti-white. And conservative cuck content creators, what they will say about Dyson that accomplishes nothing. In fact, it's more harmful than saying nothing, is to say that he's a race hustler. So in other words, if somebody steps up and says, hey, stop victimizing white people, you fall into the same category. You're talking about race. So therefore, you're the white race hustler. And I've seen content creators do that before. Say, well, there are the non-white race hustlers, and then we got our own race hustlers. But this is how a white positive ADL will function. We will be in specific scenarios in society wherein we can provide the biggest punchback to anti-whiteism, where we can come to the aid of white children being harmed at a school somewhere in a way that resonates so that whites at other schools see this is how you can push back. This is how you can put an end to the victimization in a way that reverberates so that parents can see. See, it's going to be in the news. If the white positive ADL shows up in town and begins making waves, it's going to be in the news. If we have backing, financial backing, you can pay all these cucks that won't talk about us, to talk about us, to talk about our victories. You can do a lot of things with money. You can reward some, punish others, and then they get the drift. And then what happens? White parents in neighboring counties and states, provinces and parishes, they end up saying, oh, that's how it's done. Then they head to the town council with the same tools. This is how it can be remedied rapid. This is it. This is it. Everything else, go to John Birch Society in the 60s. American First Council, 1940s. The say nothings from the, I guess you could call them do nothings, from the 1850s. You go with all of that. It's all lost. This is it. This is what works. Slot says, cool fact, the number of songs I released since August 8th is 33. I'm letting Anglo-Saxon NWG take the baton. Ah, very cool. 33. My favorite number. That's very cool. My jersey number. For White Wellbeing is in the house. Big salutes to you. Machiavelli sucks is here. He says, saying anti-white is working. Yes, it is. Exactly as I have been arguing for so many years. Exactly. And you know what else we can do? As the white positive ADL, money behind us, we can then make things more uniform. For example, there was a Twitter account that became gigantic that to differentiate itself from me and from this community, they decided to put a hyphen between anti and white, even though this World Jewish Council, with the brightest of Jews, paid for by the wealthiest of Jews, came to the conclusion, long after I did, that you get rid of the hyphen between anti-Semitism. You get rid of it in anti-Semitic, because the concept by itself yields a power that a hyphenated word does not. In a big, big, big way. So we would have the ability to make that more uniform, because we would be the authority on the hill with the money. We would be the ultimate power then. SN saying, what now? You might want to see this and discuss it. Brian exposes racist girl and everyone confronts her. Whatever clips here on YouTube, you must watch. She will make you very mad. I don't know what that is. It's called Whatever Clips on YouTube. Maybe I'll look it up real quick. Let's watch, though. I want to watch a little bit about another Waters. And what's it called? The particular episode. Let's pull up on our screen Jesse the Waters. Because he's talking about this part where you have the DOJ releasing this bounty on Donald Trump. And Barr, for example, former Attorney General, said that totally out of the ordinary, would never be done, doesn't have to be done, that it should have been sealed. The public should not have seen it, the bounty letter. They're not showing us the contents of the box. And I believe that supposedly, if you don't know the story, Ruth sent a box to some stranger, I don't believe that, with a letter that said, don't open this until whenever, or don't open it ever, I don't know. And he opens it days after the failed assassination. And therein is a letter written by Ruth, saying he's sorry he failed the assassination. This guy's got to be in on it, the person who got the box. Sorry he failed the assassination, and that he's offering $150,000 to anybody who can assassinate Donald Trump. And there were pipes, and the FBI called it construction material. Well, construction material, you mean bomb-making material? Which they don't want anybody to talk about because that contradicts the anti-white narrative. So it's got to be a hush crime. Not going to tell you what's in the box. Not going to show you a picture of the materials in the box. No, that's going to be kept from the public's view because they don't want people associating terrorism, political terrorism, which, by the way, like I tweeted a couple of weeks ago, or last week it was, when that guy pushed through with his truck, that BLM march, didn't hurt anybody. All of the anti-whites called that political terrorism. Funny how it suddenly loses the terrorism label when it's happening to white people via Donald Trump. So my guess is that those are bomb-making materials inside that box. All right, let's see about our Jesse Waters.
Fox News alert, Donald Trump was closer to death on September 15th than we thought. In a new federal court filing, we learned that Ruth had been staking out Trump at Mar-a-Lago and at his golf course for weeks. Even more chilling, investigators who sacked the sniper's nest found the rifle with the scratched off serial number had a bullet in the chamber. And when the feds caught Ruth,
But by the way, just to point out, Ruth lives in Hawaii. So he flew to the mainland United States some time back. So from someone somewhere, he got the weapon and whatever bomb-making materials that he had, etc. So there are co-conspirators, whether they were aware of their participation or not.
they found 2 sets of license plates and 6
Max and Rob is here, but going to bed. Good night to you. We're stopping. We're rolling out soon anyhow.
cell phones in his car, one of which Googled an escape route from Palm Beach to Mexico.
So he intended to kill Trump and get away. All of those phones he had.
Why did Ruth have so many phones? And where did he get the fake plates? We're also learning about a strange box the feds claim that Ruth gave to a mysterious civilian witness months before he tried to take out Trump. The feds say this box contained 4 cell phones, ammo, tools, metal material, and some pipe, and a series of handwritten letters. The FBI released a photo of what they say is the first page of Ruth's letter. The FBI says this witness took a picture of the first page of the letter and sent it to the FBI 3 days after Ruth was assassinated. And the FBI is using this picture from a mysterious witness of a letter that we don't even know if they have custody of in a federal court filing. So in this purported...
I mean, the FBI, the DOJ, and particularly the FBI, rabidly anti-white, corrupt beyond imagination. How much more evidence do you need to see?
Letter. The FBI says Ruth was...
And it's unfortunately these people who think, well, you get Trump in office and then you just hire the right people this time. That won't fix it, because you have not addressed the moral tapestry that is programmed into everyone's heads. So it will be right back. You could get somebody that is a maniacal martinet. How do you like that alliteration? And put them in charge. That's just going to go through with a broom of fire through the J. Edgar Hoover building. And as soon as he was done and gone, or even before he was gone, it would immediately populate again with anti-whites.
Was motivated to kill Trump because he believed the former president was unfit and destructive to America's moral fabric. Does that sound familiar?
That's another thing, too. Walter's doing a good job pointing this out, that when somebody fights someone and they say something in the fight that is reminiscent of, much less even verbatim of, what a conservative or Republican politician said, they draw a direct linear connection. They conflate the politician and they damage him or her. And as a consequence, the politician learns, by the fear of the mad dog as a psychological tool, to not associate, to not say anything but that which is the most mealy-mouthed, that they can then defend very easily.
The American people must decide whether Donald Trump's assault on our democracy on January 6th makes him unfit for public office. I've been saying for now well over a year He is not fit to serve. Donald Trump is not fit to be the job of president, to be the commander in chief. And he literally is putting to the test this invisible moral fabric.
Ruth's letter purportedly says that he failed to assassinate Donald Trump and that he was offering $150,000 to anyone who could finish the job. So the Biden administration just released the Assassin's Manifesto that put a $150,000 bounty on Trump's head and called him unfit to serve.
This
the
is
same
like
language Biden's used.
so unbelievable that would be done, that it's ineffable. It's stupefying. There is no, you notice, I mean, I notice this in myself, that no matter how many times we see anti-whites break the law, break the ethics, break the morality, do the most rabid, demonic anti-white thing, there is still a sense of, oh my God. And the reason why is because we have imbibed, particularly from our childhood, but over the course of our lives, the notion that at some point there will be adults in the room and the adults will do the adult thing. At some point, somebody's going to say, nope, that's not copacetic. That there is against the law. And then the other people in the room will say, oh yeah, and they'll yield. Oh yeah, it's not ethical. Oh yeah, it's not moral. Oh yeah, it's illegal. And they'll yield. You notice something? It requires human beings yielding to what we believe is ethical, moral, legal, norms, the mores for the West. It requires human beings to yield to it. There isn't a power beyond them that makes them do this. It's like the Constitution is not a power beyond them that makes them adhere to a strict literal interpretation. They have to themselves yield to it. And what is that which makes us yield to a thing or not? It is that morality, that moral fabric. And for them and everyone, that moral fabric is the anti-white moral imperative. But we still have this at some point, the adults in the room. At some point.
The FBI wouldn't release the Nashville trans school shooters manifesto because they said at the time they didn't want to inspire more violence. But
that was Audrey. Yeah, they didn't want to inspire more violence from Audrey Hale and her. Really, is that it? Not want to inspire violence? Or is it because the thing was full of anti-whiteism and therefore it's a hush crime? Say it with me, a hush crime. That's why.
They published this guy's manifesto?
So you see how what we have created is a skeleton key with the Go Free Dialogic. We can move the skeleton key into principal's offices, CEO offices, mailroom clerk office, owner of the trash company office, into the public schools, into a senator's office. Now, not only in place is it a skeleton key, but also in time. We can't model human ingenuity. You know, the oil was supposed to run out in 1970, don't you? The climate doomsdayers got everybody riled up. Oil would be run out in the 1970s. It's run out a couple times since then because you can't model human ingenuity. Brilliant people find ways to do things that other people, even other brilliant people, can't foresee before it arrives. What I've tried to talk about for a long time. Society, human existence, is dynamic. It's dynamical. It is always creating scenarios that we cannot foresee. So we've always needed something, a skeleton key, that could work not only in place, but in time. As things change in ways that we cannot foresee, we need something that is so fundamental to the operation of the human animal that it will work in all of those scenarios. And we've got it here. By God in heaven, we've got it here.
And why'd they only cherry pick the first page? What else is in these letters? Law enforcement tells us publishing Ruth's letter is basically giving the public a blueprint for the next assassination. And who the hell is this mysterious witness? Is he in custody? He sounds like a...
It's worse than a blueprint. I don't even really see a blueprint. What I see is the motivation, the instigation, the impetus. Because we know that Ruth doesn't have very much money. He doesn't have $150,000. He's not going to pay $150,000 from prison. If he doesn't get killed in prison, anybody want to bet that he hangs himself? And then his body, like Crooks, is suddenly incinerated? No. The majority of us know that. But idiots out there don't know that. They'll only know and be able to take away from it. And that's why the anti-whites in the Justice Department did this. That there'll be millions of, well, let's say hundreds of thousands of sick, deranged, very low IQ, midget-witted anti-whites out there that will only be able to take away that there's a $150,000 payout if they can kill Trump. And with the Secret Service, Homeland Security, FBI, all of them doing their jobs when it comes to Trump as perfunctorily as they can, they have the doors wide open to somebody to hit him with a car, to run up with a knife, to shoot at close distance, anything.
Co-conspirator. And what kind of witness, you get a box from someone and you don't open it? Was he following instructions? And then he didn't give it to the feds until 3 days after the assassination?
Just as an aside, there must be people who were disliking me that are now disliking Waters because apparently he's been receiving a bunch of messages about why is he using lipstick and is he using lip liner and all of this kind of stuff. Remember when they were saying that about me? That's because they were all dreaming about me putting my full, beautiful lips on them.
Assassination attempt. And why is Ruth writing letters assuming he didn't finish the job? And does the FBI even have custody of this letter, or did they just take a screen grab from a mysterious witness and submit it to the court?
It's entirely possible that we find out that this box and this letter wasn't even written by Ruth, and that this is another anti-white trying to gin up, a stupid one at that, trying to gin up more effort to murder Donald Trump. And the FBI and the Justice Department played along with it. I would not be surprised at all if we end up, if a couple weeks, maybe even months, I don't know how long it will take, Jesse Waters will be saying, that box wasn't even sent by Ruth.
Former presidential candidate and author of Truths, The Future of America First, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Hey, another one of them Indians that I was talking about.
This box is nuts. What the hell is going on here, you think?
I mean, assassination attempts are strange enough in American history.
Could you imagine Vivek? Can you see that future that I've been predicting as a serious possibility? Vivek gets up there and Vivek says just this. What about white people? He only says it once. All the white people will vote for him versus the Indian candidate on the other side that will only mention white people as evil. Do you want to live in a country like that? Where we're all like, which Indian do I like more and I'll vote for? Fuck that.
History, but this becomes downright strange. Last time around, and it's sad this is becoming a trend, Jesse, by the way, we still don't have the information about the Secret Service failures for the last assassination attempt. But even by comparison to that one, this is downright bizarre. Why somebody else would receive a box multiple weeks in advance, not open it? Whose instructions say not to open it? Why do the contents of the letter actually say that the person who is supposedly attempting to carry this out planned to not actually see it followed through? None of it makes sense, but it's just another reminder. It's one of the themes that comes out in my book as well.
Okay, now he's going to just push his book. It's another theme that comes out in my book.
Well, we deserve a government that is just transparent with the people again in this country. Not the
Another abstraction.
Partial transparency of the kind that you're seeing attempts at right now from the FBI. but just total transparency to the public. It may be ugly. Tell us what it is. That's how we're going to move this country forward. More
Anti-vilification leagues is what a muppet. Yeah.
free speech and open debate. That's how we revive our.
Yeah, I think that what we why don't we remember that tonight that I said I wouldn't be surprised if this box and the letter and all wasn't even written by Ruth, and that it's a separate crime by the guy who claimed that he received the box from Ruth. I don't know that anybody else is saying that yet, but I am not going to be surprised, because why would Ruth? The story right now, as we're learning it, is that Ruth sent this box, as I detailed to you, to a stranger that said not to open it, and then opens it after Ruth fails at assassinating Trump. Let me see what y'all are saying. I don't see that video. It's called Brian Exposes Racist Girl. I might have to look at that on Sunday. Is it recent or is it older? But if it looks like it could be something to help to educate, we will do that. I did want to get into, but we're really out of time, American universities. Fox News, American universities are rebranding DEI departments instead of eliminating them. Study finds. I will put that on the screen just to show, well, Jason was right. Look at this. Jason and the white well-being community, they were right. Not just like 90% white, 95%, 100% white. And that guy, what's his name? Ricky or whatever it is on Twitter. And he was like, I've done more than you all have ever done. Yeah, he brought a lot of attention to the DEI programs. And now, exactly as I messaged him, they're just changing the names. So I sent him this. Some American universities have claimed they would eliminate equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, but instead opted to rebrand, i.e. rename. But this, I have to say, this is not exactly a stunning prediction come true, because I've just watched the anti-whites do this. It feels like hundreds of times. And of course, logically, it makes sense, because it's just all about getting to those anti-white conclusions. So there you have it. Hey, any apologies from all of those abstractionists out there? Anybody want to step up and say, wow, so maybe you should change your ways? Or maybe, just maybe, you're not going to change your way because you really don't give a shit what happens to white children, women, men in their primes. You don't care. You don't care what happens to our countries. What you really care about is pedaling without a chain, jogging in place, and keeping your audience there to aggrandize you and pay you. Maybe that's really what you're all about. Scum. Jenna said she posted it in comments on X. Oh, the live chat on X? No, I don't see it here. Oh, on the thread under the video of the live stream? Hoover Building to be renamed to Rotunda of Western Wellbeing, writes Westman Positivity. I like that. Slaud says the remark about everyone waiting for adults to come in the room, it applies everywhere. Yeah, it does. You're 100% right. It applies everywhere. We all have this notion from childhood that adults will show up and it'll be made right. That's not happening. All right, one more quick look, and we're going to get out of here. Oh my God, everybody on their feet. Holy moly, on your feet. Big salutes, big crowns, raucous emojis, great love, hearts and fire, and find some of those swashbuckling flags. You go into the raucous emoji portion of your messenger and you type in a pirate flag. It'll come up. They've got it misnamed for now, but we'll get that fixed in the future, because this champion this is a champion, been around, a huge supporter, a great guy, contributed in many different ways. Today, Promethean Healing is financially gifting $400. $400. Big salutes. Show him some love. Give him some crowns. There's Nat Quinn with the swashbuckling flag. Huge. There's Janice. Diamonds and hearts and fire and crowns. Promethean Healing. God bless you, man. Thank you so much. $400. This guy. We're working class people. My God. You see all that? White millionaires out there? Do you see this? Do you see this? All those white guys out there paying all that money into all of these endeavors that have been failing forever. They just keep failing. Do you see this? You have all that extra income. You have those houses, you have the etc. You have all that. And here you have working class people, $400. God bless you. Promethean Healing. Hero. Promethean Healing is in the house. We also have the great Robert coming in tonight over here on Cash App. Financially gifting $10. God bless you, brother. From down under. God bless you. Whoa. Holy moly. Keep it going for Promethean Healing. Keep it going for the man. The man tonight. Promethean Healing. Financially gifting another $100. Bringing it to a total of $500. $500,000 on this Wednesday night from this hero. Let's get him some salutes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get this man some big salutes. And he says, with these $500 of financial gift, this working man, for sticking it out for all these years. Well, thank you so much, man. That what you wrote there is more meaningful than all the money in the world to me. That people would appreciate all of my effort over all the years with all these jackasses out there holding us back. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. It's been hard. So I really appreciate that. Would anybody who couldn't be humble, would anybody, and the reason I say that is because you look at these organization leaders and content creators, how many of them would allow themselves to be so disgraced, to be put in these positions where you're like essentially looking like a fool over and over? None of them would. Let's just be realistic. And therein, you can see what drives the people in this community, can't you? Because people like Promethean Healing and Dude Bro Moment and so many others, they're motivated by love. And when you love, you can, as I've said before, none of us can walk through water, but we can all together walk through fire. You can go through a lot more. If you hate other groups of people, you're not going to do any of that. You would never put up with any of that. Thank you so much. And Sloth's doing a very Slothian, pristine thing here, pointing out that Promethean Healing is a top donor every single month. He is at the very top. So this guy, you should, if white guys out there and white women out there that are legit millionaires and they're doing well, or maybe you're not, maybe you got millions in assets, net worth or whatever, and you're doing good, you should, and upward, you should feel great shame that it's regular folks that are doing this. You are the ones who are enjoying the West the most. You've got the nicest cars, boats, houses, trips. You are the ones enjoying the West the most. And it's the working class, it's regular folks that are down here fighting for all of that you are enjoying more of than all of us. You really should stand up. You should feel deep shame for that. Big salutes to these heroes. Big salutes. First, last saying he doesn't feel shame. Yeah, we're the ones who are doing. We are the people making a difference in the world. We're the ones who are giving of ourselves. So, God bless. Man, we got so many wonderful people stepping up. All right. Let me swivel around to here. Yep. No apologies for yet again another error on the part of the abstractionists. No recognition of us being right yet again. By the way, this is all, I've been thinking about this lately. We are building up a massive treasure trove of video, of clips, of memes. It's like a dragon's hoard of glittering brilliance. And when finally we are able to get what we need and the dam opens up, all of this trove is going to be there. It's not starting from scratch. All of this trove is going to be there. Think about how powerful that will be. Think about everything that you've done that'll be magnified 10, 20, 100-fold. So big salutes to everybody. We have over here on Rumble $1, as is the instruction. Thank you so much. $1 from Anne says, do you agree that we're in end stage multiracial capitalism? Well, you could actually categorize, define, use several different rubrics for what you could define as the stage that we are in. But I would not I mean, if I could get more info from you on what exactly you mean, but I would not categorize this stage where we are as like a chapter head in our story that this is the end. Because what happens at the end? It's over. And there is no building after a collapse. The anti-white oligarchs will be more powerful than us if society collapses. Rest assured. You won't be able to get your heart medicine. You won't be able to get your kidney medicine. You won't be able to get your, name the drug for your ailment. You won't be able to get food as easily. You won't be able to have work and whatever little leisure you have, and your rest of your time you can dedicate in charity to defending our people, putting it into our victimization, because you will have to spend every day working for your survival, worrying about your survival. So there is no like collapse and then we take it back. That's why we have to work like an angel coming like a bat out of heaven to promulgate the work that we have here. But as far as like capitalism, or you'd have to give me more information on what you mean. But the multiracialism in the West is not about to crumble under its own weight. You can look back at these like different groups that I named. Go look back to the Birchers in the 60s. They were saying the exact same thing, that everything is about to collapse. So many groups have said that. It's on the verge. I promise you, the anti-white oligarchs can string along this misery for far beyond our lifetimes, children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren. There's not going to be like a sudden drop off and then a phoenix rises out of the ashes. That's the kind of argument, not saying that you're making that argument, that content creators, organization leaders will make to keep people entranced with them, keep paying them, and keep lauding them and their intelligence and how they are the way. So be careful about, now this is, I would say, rather than call it the end stage of multiracial capitalism, I would call it, because to me immediately, that's, I'm not going to say more because you might mean something different, but the way that I've heard that kind of statement articulated, it bespeaks of content creators and their efforts to keep you enthralled, which is really the proper word, with very specific words that you are going to find, that you find, that his audience or her audience finds to be intellectual concepts that they can sit around and ruminate and mill about and chew on with each other. Now, this is the first chapter. This is the first page of the recapture of our destiny. That's where we are in the story. This is the first chapter of our reclamation of our people, of our countries. That's where we are in the story. We also had Sound Metal financially gives $5 on Rumble. Thank you for that. Says, do you think there are any European countries that are pro-white or have pro-white policies? Well, I mean, defining a policy as whether or not it's good or helpful to white people. I mean, obviously, like you could argue Poland keeping out anti-white non-whites is a white positive policy. It's protecting the people. So yes, there are such policies. Are there any countries where there are leaders and or parties in Europe that are specifically saying Western kind, we're a single people? We see Anne-Marie Waters getting there. We're a single people with many countries. We need to be focused on our well-being and centering us, white-centric, Westman-centric. Are there any countries like that? I don't see any. And I welcome it. And I offer my services to political leaders across the world who would like to have very high IQ insight into how to contend with anti-whiteism around the world. Because the beauty, the horror of anti-whiteism is that it's the same all over the world. It's afflicting us everywhere. The beauty is that one remedy cures it all. That's the beauty. That's a great question. Thank you for that. Sound Metal over there on Rumble. I think that has equaled the number of financial gifts that we've ever had on Rumble in one day. Maybe not quite. I think maybe we've had 3 one day, but thank you very much. All right. Nothing on Odyssey. Didn't miss anybody there. Just making sure we didn't miss anybody else. Spud over here on Entropy says, wish I could do more right now. You have no idea how many surveys I had to take for this. I can't get my dollars to go through. Oh no. On Entropy, sometimes they do have problems for people. But I appreciate very much the effort. Thank you. And you're already out there inoculating your offspring with this powerful tool and living the Go Free life, white well-being life, and sharing it with kin and friends. And that is a mighty service. So I thank you for that most deeply. Spud Ruckus. Let me take a quick look at the live chat in YouTube. And we will make sure that we didn't miss anybody. All right. Man, Promethean healing coming in today. It's like batting practice. And he just, it's out of the park. Out of the park. Spud Ruckus in the live chat over here says, trying to get it through, it's really weird. Sometimes for some people, entropy is just glitchy and won't work no matter what. Jason is so, Sloth says, Jason, it's so true. Thinking of Promethean healing, sticking with you monthly. You have a brother. Yeah, we are all brothers in this, brothers and sisters in this struggle. Taking a quick look through. I don't think I missed anybody. All right. Big salutes to everybody. Masumik is here. Hello, hello. As we are rolling out another glorious stream for white well-being. Always works, and it always will work. And we're going to fight through all the nonsense. I had a big talk with Twitter that I'm going to share with you all on Sunday. So maybe things will get better on Twitter. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? And we have a financial gift to celebrate on Sunday. So if you are that financial gifter, big salutes to you. We'll be celebrating on Sunday. But until then, knuckle down. Let's get hard. Let's get real. Let's make it happen. Future is ours. Chapter 1, the recapture of our destiny. Roll out.
A song to sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta hump and get it. I'm a white man looking for a place to do my